Tumio Lane's a funny guy. I met this guy a couple years ago when I was doing my RM Blitz thing, and oh my god, I think I struck gold here. This guy has consistently become one of my favorite devs to play games from for the channel. They just never fail to amuse me in some kind of way, even if the kind of stuff he creates isn't always my cup of tea. He's a real fun guy to talk to as well, and he made a brand new game. This is Judged for Crime, a game that was made for an indie game contest where you're encouraged to make an hour-long game within a month. The contest also says you can use any engine to make your game, but like, the entries I saw while scrolling through were mostly RPG Maker for some reason. When Tumio first told me about this, I thought it was just some small-time jam or something, but apparently not. There are over 300 entries in this thing. There's a massive prize pool up for grabs, and it was even run by some names I recognized, such as Archia, not quite sure how you say it, Nick Dedica, both of those I know as RPG Maker devs, as well as Nico B, which is a name that just sounds familiar. I think he does YouTube stuff. Tumio's new game placed 92nd in this contest, which might not sound that great until you remember that there are over 300 entries in this thing, and you know, top 30th percentile is actually quite good when you think about it, so let's try this game out. Let's see what Tumio has up his sleeve this time. The premise of the game is pretty simple. We start in this bedroom as a girl named Miranda, and as we're leaving, we find quite a scene. Our parents are being arrested under suspicion of kidnapping Princess Ash. Their trial is in 1 hour. Quite fast for a legal process if you ask me, and you must find evidence and testimony throughout the entire city in order to prove their innocence, and maybe find the real princess while you're at it. A simple plot for what's supposed to be a simple game, and Tumio doubles down on this by literally giving you about an hour to find anything. This timer kind of freaked me out when I first saw it, like holy crap, I need to hurry. Although, like with all timers in RPG Maker, you can pause it by just pulling up the menu. One thing I appreciate about this game is that it's smart enough to limit the confines of itself to one central area. There's only so many buildings and characters you can explore and talk with, and wherever you go, you're bound to find something of note. The world building is good as well, and the characters are surprisingly well developed. All the characters are practically neighbors in this game, which just means that introductions can be kept to a minimum, which is super good for something that you're supposed to beat in only an hour. That trademark Tumio brand goofiness and breakneck pace is on point as well. One of the reasons I love this guy's game so much is because every now and then you just come across something that makes you go, wait, what? Whether it be that woman you coax into beating you up just so you'd have testimony against her, this strip club which you can just waltz right in despite being a minor, or that creepy clown that gives you a kid locator. Tumio, what? When I played through this game, I was able to beat it in about 20 minutes, less than half the time allowed. So you don't really need to rush in order to beat the game. You just need to be thorough. The game even lets you figure out a few things on your own as well. Like, you're told about a secret passage in a particular building, for example, but they don't tell you where that passage is, which makes you feel smart when you eventually find it. Kind of a similar deal with this code for this secret box. When you finally have everything, you talk to this guard here. You present your evidence in court, you finger the real kidnapper, your parents say some things, you make fun of a woman's disability, and then you discover that the princess could burst into flames the entire time! And then the game ends. You know, Tumio, this one was pretty good. I don't know the kind of competition you were up against here, mostly because I didn't play any of the other games in this contest, but you should still be proud of this one. Heck, you even went back to that Mama Bliss art style I love so much as well. Say what you will about those really professional-looking anime characters from Strange as a Power and that one visual novels, which name I keep forgetting. Oh, Border of Her Heart. But something about this style of drawing just tends to fit the tone you go for a lot better, I've noticed. My one major complaint with this game has to do with one of the endings. Now, like with a lot of Tumio's games, Judged for Crime has multiple endings. I found 3 of them to be exact. There's the bad ending, where you run out of time, that's pretty underwhelming to be honest. The normal ending, where you find the real kidnapper and your parents go free, which I imagine most people are going to get. And then there's the best ending. The best ending is super dumb though. It requires you to do the exact same thing as the normal ending, but with a single difference. Around the halfway point of the game, this random nun appears in the middle of the town, and all you have to do is talk with her, and that triggers the best ending. That's it. A seemingly random nun who you might not even notice, heck, you might not even get the opportunity to see due to beating the game so fast like I did. I don't know, it just seemed like something that was thrown in at the last minute just to add a little bit of menial replay value to a game that Didn't really need it, to be honest, because you're only supposed to beat the game in about an hour. Heck, I wouldn't even have known about this ending if Tumio didn't tell me about it. He sent me this big PDF, which I don't think is publicly available as of the time I'm making this video, but he said I could talk about it anyway. It was written by a guy named Zach Eats Crackers, who I'm guessing is a friend of his. And for such a short game, this thing is really detailed. It talks about everything from the controls of the game to brief character summaries, as well as a full game guide from the very first rooms all the way to Judgment Day. Hold on, what's this? Bad worst ending. For this ending, you simply need to let the timer run out all the way. Why you'd want to do this is beyond me, unless you take a perverse pleasure in watching a pubescent girl bawl her eyes out in the terror at the revelation that her parents are going to die. Jeez, bro! Or maybe I just wanted to be thorough and make sure I get a footage of everything for this review. You don't need to assume here. So that's Judged for Crime, a short tile that placed well in the contest that managed to be a pretty good micro-sized mystery game. It manages to be experimental and try some new things while still keeping to that Tumio charm I love so much. This one was a lot of fun. I'm glad I got a chance to try it out. And I'll leave a link to it below if anyone else wants to try it out as well. Leave them a comment and rate it. Well, there we go. Until next time, thanks for watching.